You know, the reason when you brought this up to me in the first place that I was so intrigued by it and so interested in doing something about it is A, that I believe in what it is you're talking about, and B, I've come to believe in you. I've seen the type of coaching you've done and the kind of training you've done to people on so many different subjects, including this one, and I know your passion in the subject, and I also know part of where it came from.
Well, I not only speak and train about these things, but I'm a survivor of domestic violence. My mother was in an abusive relationship where my stepfather beat her. It's because of that experience and the things that I've seen in my community, losing personal friends to intimate partner violence, that I am committed to this cause. This whole project is humbling for me. In some cases, it's frightening. Because it's so important. And yes. I know that if we don't get it out there and we don't get it right, that many other people are going to suffer because the thing that is needed is not available. So Bruce, your credentials and the things I've seen you do, I really appreciate the skills that you bring.
I've been over 30 years now in audio and film, and we've brought a lot of things to life. I don't think I've ever come across a subject that's so impassioned to me. There's something that needs to be changed, and I think the more we dig into this, the more I found it. We keep being told the resources just aren't out there. On an individual basis, after the fact, when the perpetrator has already committed the crime, when somebody has already been hurt, there are all kinds of resources. In fact, they're mandated, okay, and there's all sorts of sanctions. But how do we change this culture? Can one film change a culture? Well, it can start it. And I think that that's my goal in this, and I will bring everything that I have and my expertise to this project to create a project that not only does that and informs and educates and uncovers some of these problems, but that entertains on a level that will make people want to be engaged and talk about it and start dialogues. Tyrone and I have interviewed quite a few people already. We've interviewed psychologists and judges and social workers.
The director of the Ohio Domestic Violence Network, ministers, people who are part of the clergy, victims, and all of them are saying the same thing, that this project is needed.
I definitely think that the type of project that you are working on and the film that you're creating could have a real impact in preventing the culture of violence that we currently live in. Prevention is key.
This kind of documentary would be a tool for people that have realistic goals, to realize what kind of goals they should have in relationships.
A call to action is, as we talked about a little bit earlier, getting men to sort of step up and say, yes, this kind of violence is not okay with me, and this is what I look for in a healthy relationship. I think that's really critical.
Well, I think you're actually endorsing what we're getting ready to do.
I think so.
We want to develop this piece, the documentary, to get out there. So do you think a vehicle like this would be effective?
I think it would absolutely be effective, because the one way to begin the process of, I think, stopping intergenerational violence is to deal with the children, the youth, as well as the adults. It becomes both a prevention and an intervention piece. It's sending out an alarm on why something like this is absolutely necessary.
This project will expose not only the issues of sexual assault and domestic violence and how people can help, but you will reach a vast audience of people where we individually can only reach so many people.
There's no question a video like this and any type of education is the best answer.
So the film that we're in the process of creating, you think would be an effective tool to reach high school players even?
I think for sure, because I think that's where it actually starts.